The Heart of the Forest, an epic adventure to save our friend from succumbing to darkness. In a remote land, far away from the mountains, there lies a black forest, shrouded in thick fog, lush vegetation, and teeming with dangerous monsters. Evil forces have always dwelt there, for it is their home. Sealed in the depths of the forest's heart is our friend, the Crow, who turned to the dark arts in his search for power. He said we would understand as we grew older, but we refused to accept this, for we are already old enough to understand, and we still don't. And so, we resolved to venture into the forest's heart to rescue our friend. He has been enthralled and imprisoned by evil forces. The path will be full of dangers, but we must not fret, for we are the heroes of this epic tale. The Heart of the Forest is an asymmetrical role-playing game. In this video, we will showcase both an unboxing of the game and explain the instructions of it. However, if you want the instructions with more detail, you should refer to the manual, as the instructions are better written over there. Still, we hope you enjoyed this video. We will be explaining the rules from the Heart of the Forest. In case you want to know any specifics, you can address the booklet and check the instructions yourself. The rules. The game is divided into two teams. The hero team, as we can see over here. These are their pieces. And the crow team, which is compounded of the crow and his minions. The objective of the game is different for both parties. The hero party has to reach the center of the map and has to defeat the final boss to rescue the crow. Instead, the crow has to bring all the heroes to 0 HP in order to defeat them and win the game. To reach the center of the map for the heroes, it's not as simple as just going in a straight line. They have to obtain the depths key, which is a key that only the wolf drops upon death. So the first thing they have to do is to go to the wolf, defeat him, and then face the Thorn's Embrace on the depths. Here is the hero party. As you can see, there's the warrior, the rogue, the cleric, and the black mage. And here are the crow's creatures, which are the goblin, the small wolf, the wolf, and the Thorny Embrace. Now we'll explain the game movement and the board mechanics. The game is divided into two main phases, the combat phase and the board phase. The combat phase is only triggered when two enemies are facing each other. So for example, in this instance, a goblin and the warrior are faced with one another. For example, in this instance, the warrior and a goblin are facing each other, so a battle would ensue here. However, for most of the game is happening in the board phase, so we'll explain a little bit how it works. All characters have actions, which are resources used to move the character, use items, use abilities, and so on. The turn order is defined by the speed of a character. The higher the speed, the faster you are, and therefore your turn happens before.
others. In this case, for example, the warrior has 5 speed and 4 actions, which means that he will have 4 actions to spend on each turn, and means that his speed is 5, so he will go before any characters that are below 5 speed. Generally speaking, heroes start with 4 actions, and goblins start with 5 actions.
So they can do more things than heroes.
Moving one step forward costs 1 action. Using an item or trading items with another character costs 2 actions. Equipping items costs no actions, however, once equipped, they cannot be removed. Using abilities outside of combat costs 2 actions per cast. Unused actions can be spent to recover HP or MP or AP, enhancing flexibility in play. Now the board movement.
There's a direction restriction. Once a player starts moving in a direction, they cannot move backwards on the same path. This is because at intersections, which are the larger squares in the board, allow players to choose any adjacent paths, even turning back. You can see a visual example right now. The only exception to this rule is the central circular path, which allows movement in all directions at any time. Finally, if any player lands on a tile with an effect, they must activate it regardless of their intent. For example, if you fall on a blood altar, you have to use it, no matter what.
There are different tiles, as you can observe here in the booklet, but also in the board. There are different colors, and each color corresponds to a different tile, as you can see. Each tile does a different thing. There's the event tile, which are yellow, the unlocked chest tile, which are the green ones, the item exchange tile, which is the blue one, the blood altar tile, which is the red one, the locked chest tile, which is the purple one, the campfire tile, which is the orange one, and the river tile, which is the square blue one. Event tiles. So the event tiles are the yellow tiles, and what they do is that they make you draw an event card, and then you read what's happening there. The unlocked chest tile. When unlocked, you draw an item.
When you pick up a chest, you have to place a blue token on the tile.
And that chest can no longer be grabbed again. Then the item exchange tile. So you exchange an item for another item. Then the blood altar just exchanges HP for money. The locked chest tile. You need a key or the rogue ability to be able to unlock it, and what it does is you unlock 1 item per hero.
And 1 powerful item.
Campfire tile.
If a hero lands there, all other heroes may teleport to that location as well.
And they can heal half of their
Maximum.
HP and MP. They have to be alive to be able to do that, not unconscious. And then the river tile, which you can get there and you travel around the river until the other river tile. Some monsters do drop some items on death. The goblins do not drop any items, however they lose all their possessions and they discard the cards that they possessed when they lose all their HP. Small wolves do not drop any items upon defeat. The wolf rewards a hero with 1 powerful item, each hero, so up to 4, and additionally it drops the key of the depths item and a regular key, both essential for progressing on the game. And last but not least, the Thorny Embrace secures the victory for the hero party, rescuing the crow and completing the game. Fainting and player recovery. Heroes and goblins can be defeated. When a hero is defeated, he becomes unconscious and he is unable to move or participate in combats. However, other heroes can rescue this party member by carrying them and bringing them either to the campfire or resuscitating them with items. When a goblin drops their HP to 0 or below, it retreats from the forest. A new goblin will respawn after 3 turns at any designated goblin spawn location. The respawn goblin can take its first action on the 4th turn. Stats. The character sheet have different stats. Most of them are explained, but to reiterate, the HP represents the life of a character. When it reaches to 0, it has an effect. They can be increased from beyond their maximum MP or AP. These are used when using special abilities, either outside or inside combat. Weapon damage. It's a damage modifier that enhances specific attacks or abilities. Speed. Determines the order of turns in combat and on the board. Higher speed equals faster turns. Actions. The number of actions available per turn. Actions are consumed when performing various tasks. Basic attacks. The die or dice you have to throw to perform a basic attack. You also have to throw the precision die, which is a d6, when performing a basic attack. If you hit a critical strike, you must throw another die of that specific attack. So in this case, if you hit a critical strike, you would have to throw another d6. Then, abilities. Passive abilities are abilities that are always active and cost nothing to use. Special abilities are abilities that you can activate in exchange of MP or AP. Starting items. Heroes and goblins begin with specific items drawn manually from their respective decks. Goblins do not receive new starting items when they respawn. In this case, the warrior has imbue weapon, called a merchant, and a potion of healing or mana, depending on their choice. Then there are some stats exclusive to heroes, which is the starting gold. It's just the amount of gold that a hero begins the game with. The armor stage. All heroes start their armor stage to 0. Each armor stage reduces damage received by 1 per stage, to a minimum of 1 damage from any source. The maximum amount of armor a hero can have is 3. Equipment stage. All heroes start at 1. Upgrading your equipment stage enhances your stats as indicated on your hero sheet. For example, in this case, we have the warrior. His HP is 14 if the equipment stage is at 1, 18 if the equipment stage is at 2, and 25 if the equipment stage is at 3. Abilities unlocked. All heroes start at 1. Unlocking abilities makes you unlock your next ability. They are in order. So, if you have the first ability and you unlock the second ability, in this case, you already have the Furious Strike, and you would unlock Sweeping Strike, which can now be used in combat. Items. Items can be used in or outside of combat. Outside of combat, you have to spend 2 actions, and in combat, it takes a full turn. Some items are consumable, meaning that they are used after a single turn. When visiting the merchant, heroes may buy any sellable items. You have the list here of all the items that you can buy from the merchant. The merchant has to have that quantity available, so if another hero has a certain item that is limited, you may not be able to buy the item. Call the merchant card. The merchant card, what it does is that it allows you to buy up to 5 items, 4 of them being normal items and 1 of them being powerful item. The way that you can see which items you can buy is random. You have to draw the first 4 cards of the item pile and 1 of the powerful items.
Oh my god.
Oh my, those teleportations.
Oh my.
So the hero can only buy 1 of these, and then the rest go into their discard pile. Okay, discarding cards. Used cards are placed into their respective discard piles. There is a separate discard pile for each type of card: item, powerful item, event loot, and event card. After a player searches or draws a card from any deck, that deck must be shuffled before used again. When using a consumable, this card goes into their discard pile.
We'll now show how to shuffle after buying an item from the merchant.
You buy the item that you want specifically.
In this case.
But a fight can happen when two enemies collide. The warrior in this case wants to fight the goblin. The thing is that the goblin is enough actions so that he can fight as well. Okay, so all of these are fighting against themselves. The fight begins. Let us see the speed. So he wins. So use your item. Your damage is leveled next turn. Okay. I myself want to hit you. So I will hit you.
Using the precision die and my attack die.
Okay. And now another time. Ooh.
A critical strike. I'll have to throw the die again. Nice! This amounts to 7 damage from both goblins. Now the warrior will deal double damage because of the card that he used last turn. However, he misses the attack because he rolls a 1 on the precision die. The goblin throws the dice again. He hits a critical strike. Therefore, he has to throw the attack die once more. In this case, a d4. The second goblin attacks as well. After summing all the damage, he deals a total of 4 damage to the warrior. The warrior is at very low HP. The warrior rolls 3 damage, but because he used that card 2 turns ago, he deals 6 damage, which is the HP a goblin has, so he defeats one of the goblins. This goblin hits another critical strike. It's a menace. However, it only deals a total of 2 damage. The warrior has 2 HP left. Uh-oh, the warrior only deals 3 damage. The next turn will be critical. The goblin is at 3 HP and the warrior is at 2 HP. What will happen next?
Vale, vamos a hacer que te gane, tío.
No, te gano yo.
Vale. No, el toque.
Piri 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 piri